Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Lord Otter's channel. We're doing a Minecraft stream, just a casual chill stream tonight. Uh, Joined along with me tonight is Billy Bob Sack. Billy Bob, how are you doing tonight?
Wow.
Kapla kapla.
Oh, kapla. Oh, kapla.
Oh, I'm really excited to get back into this world. I had a blast last time. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and open it back up.
Really start to. I'm yawning now.
Yeah, so am I. Alright, time to expand this house. Really like how it's coming together so far.
Oh man, so much shit. So yeah, I watched My Dress Up Darling the first season. It's pretty good.
Fuck, there's a creeper right outside my house.
I watched the dog shit finale for The Boys season 4.
Get away from my house.
Dude, it was bad.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't watched much of The Boys. I just know certain things about people not being very impressed about, was it season 3? Season 4 is apparently worse.
Yeah. Like, it has subplots that go nowhere. I mean, nowhere. Let me put it like this. So, in like season 3, they had like the thing with Kimiko, the Asian chick, and Frenchie, and it was supposed to be like building the relationship. And at the end of it, like she basically went, we can't really be together, so we'll stay friends.
Yeah.
Well, this season they decided to make him a fag. We had a subplot that took up in I think the first 4 episodes of, oh, he's this dude was with the Starlighters. He was like one of the assistants or whatever, and he hooked up with him, and they were fucking each other. And the whole subplot was Frenchie, when he used to work for the mob, would assassinate people, and he assassinated this person's whole family.
Really?
And he's having like a guilt fucking subplot.
Oh boy.
And then Kimiko in the one episode tells him, go be with him.
Be with him.
I want you to be with him.
You need to give him emotional support.
Okay. Well, guess what happens in the final episode? By the way, after episode 4, that subplot's basically done. Like he ends up, he turns himself into jail. By the way, turns himself into jail and is just brought back. He misses one episode and is brought back in like episode 6, I think, or 7. So, not really any consequences there.
I don't know
and then
why,
on top
but
of that,
I thought for a second you were gonna say he turns into jailbait.
Well, he probably does. Now he's taking it up the ass.
Probably.
And then on top of that, in the season finale, him and Kimiko have a moment in which Kimiko basically says, "Hey," because Huey gave a speech about like having mercy and forgiveness and stuff and all that shit. So they end up basically getting back together and being like, "We need each other," whatever. What was the point of the colon, like the fucking the faggot fucking subplot that we didn't need?
Well,
Why couldn't the subplot be?
Boys
Why couldn't the
beady-eyed.
Yeah, but why couldn't the subplot be? I don't know. Frenchie and Kimiko trying to be friends, but they actually have feelings for each other.
Well,
that'd be the
that's
the
just
through
not
line.
diverse enough,
No, he needs to take it up the bum. In the first episodes, in which it's immediately forgotten and dropped about, brought up again. What else? Oh, Homelander sucked this episode.
Really?
He has like a little bitch tantrum and shoots his room with lasers.
As you do.
And then his son walks in and he throws the. In the last episode, Butcher sent him a picture of him and his wife. With the dog. Homelander throws it at him and then threateningly tells his son to come to him, and it just cuts away. By the way, it never gets addressed later in the episode. His son shows up again, Ryan. Doesn't get addressed. Like, I guess nothing happened.
Nothing
Why
at
was it
all.
there?
Makes me think of Peter Griffin saying there's no conflict in this movie. That's basically the whole of season 4.
Like, oh, the shapeshifter character who got introduced last episode. She's a crazy bitch. Starlight just escapes, by the way. Like, there's no build up. She somehow escapes, or she escapes and shows her, and then she just somehow knows where the boys are hiding out with the president to thwart the assassination in a fucking like sewer bunker thing. She just gets there. No
Just
problem.
hiding out casually, as you do.
Yeah, how does she know? How does she know?
Who knows? Who cares?
What else? Oh my god. Oh yeah, they failed to assassinate the president. Also, later in the episode, evidently the shapeshifter was just wearing a camera we couldn't see. Because that's how they get the president out of the office at the end.
Sounds a little suspiciously like Deus Ex Machina to me.
Well, like at the end, the Sister Sage character is supposed to be like her superpower is that she's really smart. That's it.
Also, hello Frederick in the chat. He says, "Hello, fellow kids. I'm not a kid. I'm an otter. I'll have you know."
But seriously, like later in the episode, Sister Sage just shows up and she's like, "Homelander, hey, it went all to my plan. You should have listened to me and all this other stuff, and I'm so happy and all this other stuff." But how did she know that Butcher was gonna fucking kill Newman? Because Newman, she's like the AOC type of character. She's like a mini antagonist in the show. She decides to run with Huey and make a deal, to get them out. Because Homelander outs her as a superhero on live TV. And then also threatens her if she stands out of line, he'll fucking kill her and her family.
Yeah.
So how did she anticipate that Butcher, by the way, was fucking dying? She didn't know he took Compound V and got his cancer got superpowers.
Now that is what we call plot magic.
Because Butcher just shows up and he kills her at the end. I do think that scene could have been better. Like, it should have actually emphasized her screaming when she gets ripped in half. That was the one satisfying moment. I fucking hated that character since season 2 she was introduced.
Also,
I did
if
enjoy
it seems like there's any lag for you guys in the chat, that is actually not the stream. That is just Minecraft, this version of Minecraft Bedrock Edition just running terribly for whatever reason on my machine. It seems to be not just my machine, but a running theme with Bedrock Edition in general.
Oh, and Homelander, they decide that they're gonna kill half of the Vault employees, all the ones that have dirt on them, before they do all this shit. So we get a stupid scene of them murdering 3 people. Yeah, you heard me right. 3 people. That was it. That was the extent of the scene. I don't know why it was there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get killed right outside of my house.
Honestly, I lost where my house was. Oh, there it is.
They're just
and
right outside.
To be fair, on the firecracker thing, to be fair, they did set it up earlier in the season when she reveals that she's taking meds to make her produce breast milk. That it like causes her heart to enlarge. The problem is, like in none of the previous episodes do we actually start seeing effects. It just randomly starts in this episode.
Yeah, there's no cause and effect. It's just, oh, shit happens, because, that's how storytelling works.
Well, like, they set it up, but, like, it just randomly starts happening. Like, no previous episodes start showing that. I'm like, alright.
I wonder if I can lose these monsters. They are swarming right outside of my house. I can't, because they're swarming. It won't let me get into bed.
But on to other good things. I've been watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
What do you think of it so far?
Well, I've watched most of it. I got, like, less than 20 episodes to go. I'm episode 47.
You're already
beginning
like
episode
2/3
is
of the
rough.
way through the whole series or something?
Yes. I'm almost done. I started this Wednesday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite a lot. Oh, come on. Monsters, get away from my house.
But
Nothing to see here.
first episode is a bit rough because
they're trying to set up a lot of stuff that they set up already in the original series. They just did it a lot better there. And this time they kind of half-assed it.
Right, because I felt like it was I should already know shit, and that's not good for your show because I don't.
Well, it's even weirder because in the next couple episodes, it kind of explains it anyway. So it's like that. That first episode, it doesn't need to be there.
Like, keep in mind, I'm like the episode right before the finale starts happening, where they're doing the coup on the Central Command and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like right there, the Day of Reckoning, like right when it's fixing to start.
Hi, Creed.
It's where I left off just right now.
How are you?
I mean, earlier it was confusing because I was confused by the world because it kind of seemed like it was just one world, like kind of like Attack on Titan, where it's just one area, and then later on you're like, no, there's like an entire world, and I'm like, all right. Would have been helpful to know because I was kind of confused earlier.
It would have been a little nice.
I think it's like, I want to say like episode 12 or 13 is when you're like, no, there's these other nations around here connected. I will say that the government being evil kind of saw that in like the first 3 episodes.
Well,
this
is alternate reality, like Nazi Germany, basically. Alright, now I'm in bed. Zombie was hardcore stalking me. Also,
so yeah, you get introduced to it. I mean, you can see that they're fucking like militaristic dickbags. So it wasn't surprising, like, when you get farther in.
What Edward is, like, a Full Metal Alchemist, or, well, he's just a... Full Metal Alchemist is, like, his tag name, but he's, like, a state alchemist, and their sort of, like, reputation is they're dogs of the military. They're just there as an extension of the government.
Right. Well, I also knew it once, they're like, oh, the whatever the fuck, Ishvalian.
Ishvalans.
Yeah, they genocided them.
They're just completely not Jewish people at all.
Yeah, they fucking genocided them. I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure the government's not evil, guys. Sure.
I wonder if there's any sort of, like, correlation here to actual history.
Now, I will say this. The OST is fucking insanely good.
Oh, yeah. That was, like, one of the things that actually drew me into the show was the OST is above and beyond.
Like, it goes fucking hardcore.
It's like they actually got, like, a fucking choir and symphony orchestra to do the soundtrack, and it's, like, top-notch.
Like, they do it on... this ain't a complaint, but they do it on scenes that isn't as, like, big, but they'll just throw it in there to make it more epic. Because they know it's fucking good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's one thing I was actually genuinely surprised about. I was like, oh, no, this is really good. I could see that, what's her name? Winry was going to be the fucking love interest.
It's pretty obvious in, like, the first episode or two, whenever her and Edward are having kind of, like, their old married couple kind of, like, back and forth. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty obvious.
It was that, and also, like, she's a fucking childhood friend. I'm like, oh. Yeah, she's the romance interest for him.
Winry isn't the deepest character either. I still like her. Like, I think she's a good character, but she's not as in-depth as, like Roy Mustang or Hawkeye or anybody like that.
Yeah, Hawkeye, White Casca.
She kind of is. Like, whenever you first called her that, I was like, who are you even talking about? Then I put it together. I was like, oh, I see. And it makes sense. She is basically White Casca.
She is. She is White Casca. 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 She is Whi Um, some things I know a lot of y'all fans have like the sad moment in the show. But I'm gonna be honest, the fucking like dog chick thing, I didn't really feel anything just because it was like you only had like 3 episodes to really know them, like less technically.
And most of
So
it
weren't
only
full.
happens in a single episode.
Yeah, so when that happened, I'm like, oh, it's sad, but I'm not like, oh, this is soul crushing. I'm so sad. I'm like, I barely know this character. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It is the part of the show that's probably memed the most. You will see just people joking about it and talking about how much it fucked with people's emotions pretty much ad astra. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it was like, and I literally mean like 3 episodes, and it wasn't like full episodes with them. So it kind of just happened. I was like, all right, he's evil. Okay,
Frederick's
moving on.
asking, why do you wake up sword in hand in this game? Oh, it's just how I live, you know? It's a lifestyle choice.
Because he was thinking of his boyfriend, Terry, of course.
Oh, yeah. Obviously.
But
also, you got it
it
wrong.
gets
It's Tyrone.
also the show does have a little bit of an issue of having a kind of cohesive plot like forming.
It
It's
takes
not
it about 10 to 15 episodes for the real story to actually kind of like get going.
Yeah, because it's mainly kind of like in the second episode when they get to that one town and like the priest. I'm like, I I was like, why are we here?
Oh, is
And
my
it's
audio
revealed,
very low? Let's try this.
but
How's that?
it was revealed that I don't know, that one was just kind of random when it happened. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
now this priest dude, red stone thing. He's a charlatan. All right.
Raven, if you can hear me, how does my audio sound now? I have like the microphone right next to me.
Envy, I couldn't tell if it was a male or a female.
Envy, I think Envy is a guy, but you can also
Guy.
kind of argue that Envy is a little bit androgynous.
Oh, it's a guy. It just doesn't tell you
Yeah,
until
it's
like
really hard to
episode
put
30.
together. The voice acting does not help that.
Well, the clothes designs are like would be for a female chick character. However, the body's like a fucking dude. The voice acting can either be a weird sounding dude or a fucking like old grouchy woman. Like, so it wasn't until like one of the characters actually referred to him as him. I was like, oh, okay, it is a dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it took me several episodes to actually figure that out because it's left pretty ambiguous there for a while, for a good while, in fact.
I'm kind of sad Lust got killed so early.
Well, we all know why you're sad that Lust got killed early, you know?
Well, I'm just saying, if any of the fucking the Homogulus get fucking murked early, just saying, why Lust?
Just saying, why the one with the big boobs? Why her first?
Also, fucking Korra, the Legend of Korra, totally ripped off her design.
Oh, really?
Have you seen like the black-headed chick in that show?
I have not, actually. I haven't watched any of The Legend of Korra.
The Legend of Korra.
The Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate considering how many people simp over Korra.
What else was there?
Die, chicken.
Also, the show doesn't know whether it wants to be like really adult or not. Like it flips on how much gore it wants to do, blood.
Some of it, I think, kind of factors in with the humor. For me, the humor, especially at first, it's really jarring. It's not your standard, like, goofy shenanigans and anime humor. It's a little more kind of like bubbly humor, I guess, but it doesn't always fit. Sometimes it's just really jarring.
I think at a certain point you get used to this comedy style. At the
You do
beginning,
get
yeah.
used to it.
Like after like episode, I'd say 4, I was pretty used to the comedy style, so didn't really have any jarring shit. I will say also, I'm surprised how much the main character doesn't fight the villains. Like, think of that. Edward has never fought Lust.
No, he hasn't.
And I don't think he's fought Gluttony either, if I remember correctly.
I'm trying to think if he fights him later on. Well, I don't want to spoil anything. I
I'm
know
saying
the
for
answer
right
to that
now.
question. Yeah, earlier in the series, I don't think he does.
He fights Scar. Which he was a little bit of a shock, to be honest. I kinda thought he
has
was,
a really good
first
character arc in the series. I like how he's handled in general.
Well, I kind of thought he was just going to be like a mid-ranking villain that Ed just kind of beats eventually. Like, he gets his ass kicked and then beats him.
Yeah.
No, he's like an actual character. Like, all right.
He actually has a redemption arc, which is really good.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that was revealed, all right, that his father is actually like an immortal, and his whole backstory. Which, by the way, actually explains something to me. Because I always wondered, like, why does he have golden eyes? Like, you never see any other character with golden eyes, and I'm like, hold up.
Oh, yeah.
Unique.
This is something I've noticed more whenever I've rewatched it, but Full Metal Alchemist, like, how do I put this? Full Metal Alchemist, in its themes, you could kind of argue is a bit more on the atheist or rationalist side of things. That said, the villains are full on, like, it's like subtly satanic. What's actually kind of like the actual themes that's behind them.
Right.
Between like,
well,
fodder,
I mean, they're
like,
literally
his
named after the
actual
7
goals and
deadly.
everything.
They're literally named after the 7 deadly sins.
Yeah, that's one of the less subtle cues into it.
Like, I noticed it right off the moment when the one chick was like lust and then gluttony, and I'm like, oh, 7 deadly sins, all right. Albeit this isn't Earth.
It's a not Earth setting. There's clearly some parallels, but it's not the same.
Yeah, the weird thing I have with the world, because it's supposed to be 1920s. It literally says 1920s.
I actually think it's like 1914 or something like
No.
that.
Nope. It's like 1920 something. 1914 is when the Ishvalan fucking genocide happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the actual story takes place in like 1920 something.
Okay.
And
yeah, I know it's like earlier than our world whenever you have like the actual rise of like the Nazi party and everything. It's not supposed to line up perfectly with the timeline or anything like that.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're exactly the Nazi party.
They're
to be honest.
not. They have similar principles behind them, but they're not the exact same.
Like this, the one thing I am a little confused about with the why they chose on the world building. Why are there no blimps or airplanes? There's full fucking tanks later on.
Not so much blimps, but especially airplanes. You would think there would be more of that. That is a pretty good.
Well, in 1920 and World War I, there were blimps that were used in combat.
Right.
Especially when you think of travel.
You could also kind of make the argument, it's like they might have had their own Hindenburg incident or whatever, but then you factor in airplanes and you're like, I don't know.
Well, I know, it's just a weird thing I noticed. Also, guns don't have a guard trigger. If you look at the guns, I forgot exactly what it's called. It's the little bar that goes over your trigger. None of the guns have it.
Raven saying, that skeleton scared me. I was trying to figure out where it was shooting me from. Yeah, I was figuring out the same thing. The skeleton deserved what he got.
But like I said, we finally got an explanation of why they have yellow eyes, because the actual makeup of the main area is very much America. Like, you have black people, you have white, you do have Japanese.
Yes.
Zing is kind of a mix of Japanese, but more Chinese.
It's more China than Japan.
Like, when it comes to the normal people, no one has the yellow eyes like them. So I was like, all right, they're special. The Ishvalans are like light brown skin with red eyes. By the way, when he was introduced and he was doing all the god shit, I'm like, dude, you have red eyes. Like, all right. Here, you talk about it.
Nothing sinister to that whatsoever.
But and then also the Zing people, they're all black-haired, black-eyed. And I don't like Ling, I'm going to be honest with you. I still don't like him.
You want to know who Ling reminds me of? The resemblance is a little funny. He makes me think of Serpico a little bit in Berserk.
Yeah, because they have the same closed-eye design.
They even sort of act
Wow.
like each other just a little bit. Ling is more thievish, to be honest. That is like a fair counterpoint.
I just don't like his character. He's like the one I'm like, I don't like you. Can you go away? Thank God he's gone away for now. Oh, he's back.
Is a better character.
I will say good design on the female ninja, because I did think it was a dude when it was first introduced, because his mask design does look like a mustache.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, bravo. You got me with that one. Now it's hot Asian chick, which I'm sure she's going to show up for finale with a fucking robot arm.
Somebody's muffler out here makes it sound like they have a fucking machine gun going on outside.
Pretty sure she's going to show up. And then the other chick, the Maria Rose chick, I'm pretty sure she's going to show up again as well. She's the one that got framed for Hughes' murder. By the way, didn't expect Hughes to get fucking offed so quick.
Yeah, it's one of the big shocks of early Full Metal Alchemist. Nobody expects him to die until he does, and then it hits everyone.
Oh, I'm also disappointed that Barry got killed. I like Barry.
I'm trying to remember who Barry is.
He's the fucking soul-branded armor serial killer.
Oh, yeah, I felt bad for... Are they brothers, or are they just comrades? I forget.
No, not the brothers. Barry.
Oh, Barry the Chopper. Barry the Chopper.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Barry.
Yeah, he fucking dies.
Yeah, poor Barry. He didn't deserve what he got.
I mean, he was a serial killer.
He was a serial killer, but he was my serial killer, all right?
Like, the whole joke was, before Lust gets killed by a Mustang, he gets cut all into pieces, and it cuts at the end of the episode, like his body, decomposing body, fucking accidentally rubs off his mark. I was like, why don't we kill Barry? Why can't we keep Barry around? Barry was starting to become a good guy, people. He wasn't chopping.
He was actually going through a bit of a rehabilitation process. Then he meets his own corpse that's trying to eat him. Yeah, that's a bit of a unique experience.
We're not trying to eat him. He just wants to cut up his own corpse, you know?
Well, his corpse wants to eat him, or just eat anything that has flesh on it. Barry's just fuck it, I just want to chop up my own corpse.
Yeah.
Oh, Barry.
Also, by the end of this fucking...
Well, not really.
By the end of the show, Alphonse better get his fucking body back, and Edward better not die. You hear me, Otter?
He better not die.
I'm not joking. If that is how this series ends, that's bullshit. And right. I think it is going to end like that, because I did see one of the fucking blurbs for one of the movies.
Depends on the movie, man. It really does. There's a big difference.
Well, there was a movie saying 2 years after this, and then, he's in, like, our world with Nazis. I'm like, I swear to God, if at the end of this series,
I can tell you what series that's a part of. If do you want me to spoil it or no?
is it a part of the series I'm watching?
No, it's not.
All right, tell me then. I don't care if
It's
it's
part
on.
of the original series. The
So he
original
dies.
series deviates from the manga quite a bit after a certain
So he
point.
dies.
I don't know if he dies because I actually haven't seen the movie. I know that he crosses into an alternate universe. I know it's like actual Nazi Germany, and that's about it. I know the ending for the original is a lot more depressing.
So it's still depressing in the fucking remake.
You'll find out. You'll find out.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm not putting up with this shit. You give me a shit fucking ending. Like, no.
Well, I can spoil the ending for you, but that's no fun.
Just saying. Because I will say this shit. I will say this series is shit if it goes down like that. I have no time for stupid fucking endings like that.
Do you want me to tell you my thoughts on the ending just in general?
Go ahead.
I actually think it's probably one of the most solid endings to a shonen anime.
Meaning it's happy at the end.
Yes.
Actually happy.
Yes.
Like Alfonso gets to eat the food he wants to eat.
I'm not gonna say anything there.
How it better end? We went through this whole fucking series. Them trying to get their. You know what? Here's the thing. I don't care if Edward gets his leg and arm back. I actually think it doesn't matter because he's relatively fine without him. I do think his brother needs to get his body back. Like, it is nightmarish being stuck in a fucking suit of armor.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've noticed, there's a bit of a ticking time bomb element to it as well.
Yeah, that's what we got introduced when they're at the northern wall. Which, by the way, let me explain this. We get fucking what's his name? His sister, who's the general over there.
Oh yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! This anime does not really draw lips. For her, it draw like ginormous fucking lips.
Yeah, she's an Armstrong, of course.
I saw that and I went, Jesus, the fuck. Like, none of the go back, go look at the show. None of the other chicks have lips like that. This bitch does.
Yeah, well, she's an Armstrong. She's special. She gets to have like really big lips.
They gave her fucking like prime time blowjob lips. That's what they did. I'm not like. I was just like, oh god.
That's one way to describe
I
it.
like her. Oh, I also love the chimera that joined Edward, the four of them.
Oh
Just
yeah,
because I like
yeah.
that they kind of just went, fuck this. Like, these assholes are threatening our family, and we don't want to be fucking half animal shit.
Well, this is one thing I've always liked about a lot of shonen anime. You see it some over here in the West with kind of like more sort of like superhero type series, but not a whole lot either. The idea that depending on how the situation changes, the hero and the antagonist can team up just to get out of a situation.
Well, these guys aren't evil either.
No, they're not evil. And having them team up, it kind of shows you that's one of the big ways they're not strictly evil. If they're actually resourceful, at the very least, you know they're somewhat smart.
Hold up. Oh man. So this one ends like the manga?
Yes. From what I know, it is about, aside from like the first episode or two, it is really close to the manga.
Hmm.
I think they only
Oh,
left one story arc out from the manga, and that was like early on when you're kind of like right around that same stage where you're getting a lot of these smaller stories with like between like Edward, Alphonse, and then the like religious figures or just different groups and factions.
yeah, the Leto stuff I just didn't care for. Also, because it didn't even have a good fight. Like
Yeah,
he kind of just he. By the way, how the fuck was he makes a minigun and they immediately run away?
yeah, it bends logic a little bit. He also has like a mini Philosopher's Stone, which isn't really a Philosopher's Stone. It doesn't really
Yeah,
explain it much.
it's called a Philosopher's Stone, but it's a fake one. It's an incomplete one, is what he had. Because the doctor dude reveals later that he was carrying a fake version, or like or not a fake version, but like a really weak one that you can only use so much.
Have you
Because
come
that is a
across?
thing with.
So have you come across the really? He's like a cowardly type character. He ends up joining their group later on. I think it's yeah. You're already past that point. He's from like an oil town or something, or a mining town.
Yeah, he gets introduced pretty early, and he's talking. I almost thought I missed something because
Yeah,
he was talking about the Elrics. I'm like, who is this dude? But it's
there's a
played as a
reason for
joke
that.
later on.
He is
Well, it's played as a joke later on.
right. It's played as a joke, but that he is actually a character from one of the few missing story arcs.
Yeah, they made it into a joke.
Yeah,
Because later on, he's telling his entire backstory where he's making himself look like the good guy, but he's clearly like a scummy, greedy
yeah.
coal mine owner.
I ended up really liking him by the end because he is just such a scumbag. But I don't know.
He is. Also, everyone was going to let him die.
Yeah. I mean,
when the Envy, as a little tadpole, fucking jumps on his neck.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And they're like, "I'll kill this man if you don't let me go." And they're like, "Go ahead."
Raven, you're asking if there was a witch over there earlier. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there was a witch right over Billy Bob Sack's house. And I elected not to tell him about it. How many saplings do I have? A decent amount. Let's go ahead and start planting. We're gonna have ourselves a pretty little orchard by the end of this. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh man.
It's gonna be utterly fantastic. By the end, I think I'm gonna be cutting down this entire
also
cherry
the
blossom
show doesn't
forest.
the show also doesn't give a good reason why he's called Full Metal. Like he's just called Full Metal, and I'm like, all right, are you gonna tell me why he's called Full Metal? And it's like, oh, because he can warp metal and shit. That's his ability.
I think it's more just because he has like a prosthetic arm and leg, but it's still pretty flimsy.
Well, no, he does. That's what his whole power is, doing metal. His whole thing is iron, and all kinds of shit involves iron. That's why, like, later on when he fights that one dude with the prosthetic and the thing, he couldn't destroy it because it's not made out of metal. It's not made out of iron. I mean,
yeah, it's not like metal. It's like auto mail or something like that.
I think yeah, but the metal it's made out of isn't iron, so he couldn't destroy it.
Right, and it's like manipulate. It's really tough to actually transmute, so he's got an edge there.
Which he doesn't fully do iron because he's able to manipulate stone, like normal stone.
Yes.
I'm like, all right. Also, I love the fucking teacher. I wish they said master. I don't like teacher. Call it master.
So I wanted to ask. I wanted to know the point you kind of realized that the mangaka for this series is female, because it's like you can clearly tell her just from the style, but it's incredibly well executed. Like, you still have fan service moments, but it's like they're good.
You have one major fan service moment and we got
Yes.
to it. It kind of comes out of the blue. I'm gonna be honest.
So it's like I would describe Full Metal Alchemist as where it's like you can tell a lady wrote it, but it's like there's a really good amount of respect, like both sides there. You have a lot of like female characters that are like written well, but they still feel like ladies, you know? It's not like anti-men or anything like that.
No, the teacher literally. I love her whole thing is that she's this hard ass because of course she's an alchemist and stuff, so makes sense. Also, she just wants to be a fucking housewife.
Yes.
That's it.
She is a hard ass, but she just wants to be a housewife at the end of the day.
Yes, and then you get her little backstory.
Yeah, you get you get a really good reason why she's a bit more kind of like stone cold towards people, where she ended up losing her child.
Yeah, and she also committed the taboo that the boys did.
Yes, that too.
Which it's revealed later on that it's not actually they're not actually bringing back. They're bringing back something different when they do it.
Right. Ow.
I'm assuming we'll find out later towards the end what it is. Exactly what were they bringing over? The thief chick hasn't showed back up again.
The thief chick. I know who you're talking about.
The black one that they gave her big tits.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's the same episode where the one lady is giving like birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's, without spoiling anything, she's really not in the series that much.
No, she isn't. I'm just noticing like bring back a lot of other characters. I'm like, she's kind of not bringing them up again.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking wiries, the ones where she's apprenticing. The dude's a fag.
Oh yeah. It's like it barely comments on it, but you can. It's pretty obvious.
Dude,
come along, Winry.
Dude, he's dressing up. He's fucking gay. Gay.
It's very obvious. I just think it's funny because it doesn't comment on it any more than just like the tone of his voice. That's it. And I'm like, you know what?
Not just the tone of his voice. Also, what he's wearing. He's wearing like a girly apron shit.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, like it was extreme. I saw it in the background. I was like, "That's a gay dude." 100% gay. What the fuck? It was pretty fun. He's like a little tiny background character. Noticed it.
Yeah, he's barely even in the series. Barely at all.
Oh, Creeper almost blew my fucking house up. Jesus. Yeah, it kind of saved the reveal of the villain, but it kind of didn't, because it kind of shows him a shadow, and I'm like, all right, that's their father. But it's revealed it's not. You know, it's the thing in the jar thing that
the dwarf in the jar or something.
Yeah. The one who just who gave what's his name is gave him the slave's name, their father's name.
Yeah, that's also one of my favorite episodes out of the series. Full stop.
Well, it explains that it explains exactly what's going on, what happened to Xerxes, which we got like a little question about that earlier in the series. And then also explains that like what's the main character and his brother are not actually technically they're like half bloods of the one place. What is it called? Amerstice. The name
I'm trying to remember.
nation. Anyways, the name of the nation and the Xerxes people, which are all blonde and golden eyed.
Right.
I was like, all right, I got an explanation.
They do not deserve what they got in the end.
Well, it was just a dickhead king, and then the dwarf in the jar was like, yeah, asshole, we're gonna be a sacrifice.
He's like, yeah,
Okay.
I'll help you out. You can
I'm
trust me.
curious what. Yeah, I'm curious what the reveal is. Why they're doing it again? Like he already has a body, and power.
Yeah, there's more to it than that. Let's just say he has loftier goals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm waiting for a reveal of why he's actually doing the. He already did it with the city. Now he's trying to do it with an entire nation. Sorry. All right, asshole. I'm also assuming that the character you meet when they first did the transmutation shit, the one with the smile and stuff, I'm assuming that's his people.
I'm trying to remember, honestly.
Because he had the big giant weird smile thing, and then the god one, the white one that was taking Edward's arm and leg. Has the
Oh,
weird.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
So I'm assuming we're gonna get that revealed. I'm assuming he's like a race that's in the afterlife or some shit. Because he comments specifically on finally being able to walk on Earth. So I'm like, all right. I can also see some Berserk influence in the show.
There's a little bit, especially with some of the darker subject matter. You can kind of feel it there.
Well, especially with the sacrifice and the way the souls look in the Philosopher's Stone. Which, by the way, I'm a little bit surprised that after their dad tells Alsponia about his past, finally tells the son.
Raven,
I'm
you've
surprised.
got a really good idea.
I'm surprised he didn't make the connection that that he is the golden god, immortal, that the Zing people were talking about in like the previous episodes where they were trying to figure out the hidden messages in that book and Scar's brother's book. Remember they kept referencing like a golden dude, and the dude taught them their magic, which is specially in healing. Their father's not evil. Was he evil? Did they make him evil in the original?
In the original, you are made to despise him. He's meant to be the type of character you love to hate.
Well, this one is not really evil. It's the other one. I mean, he is kind of a douche for bending his wife and his kids.
Right. He's a bit of a douchebag, but he still has a good reason for why he's doing what he's doing.
Is the show gonna tell me why?
Yes.
Okay. It better be an actual good reason, because in this one it's just like, I abandoned my wife and kids because I'm an immortal, and I don't deserve them. So
no,
like,
it's nothing as dumb and like cheap as that.
I'm just saying, like, if that's the excuse, I'm like, no, dude, it's not. You abandoned a wife who loved you and 2 sons that needed you. All right, you better have a good reason why you did it, you know?
Raven, I hope you understand I'm taking your advice to heart. I'm planting trees on top of trees. It's gonna be wonderful by the end.
Oh, man. I am gonna probably watch Cowboy Bebop next after. I'm assuming this Full Metal Alchemist. This is just it. It doesn't have no sequels or anything.
Right. This is it. It's a very complete series. Actually, it's one of it's one of the best things about it. Actually.
Okay. I'm not watching that movie because I don't care about going into our world in Nazi Germany. It sounds cringy as fuck.
Brotherhood itself, there are no movies for it. The one movie there is of Full Metal Alchemist, that is the original series.
Yeah, that one I heard. I'm just like I'm not interested. I'm not interested in. Like I like that this is. It's not our Earth because it isn't, but it's our Earth as well.
Right. It's
Oh.
what I know of the original series, because I haven't seen it myself and I really need to. I probably should. Uh I do know it gets really heavy into alternate universes there by the end, which I don't know how big a fan I am of that.
I don't like that. I don't know. You know, like a story just beginning, middle, end. Here you go.
Brotherhood
There's
is really good for that.
parallel.
There's a reason. That's one of the big reasons why so many people recommend it without any hesitation, because it has a really good beginning, middle, and end.
I'm assuming in the final episode we get a time skip.
Yes.
So we're gonna see a little baby Edward.
Maybe.
It isn't maybe. We're gonna see a little baby Edward.
Maybe.
It isn't a maybe. We're gonna see a little baby Edward.
Perhaps.
Stupid fucking. Telling you right now, we're gonna see a baby Edward.
Hey, that actually doesn't look too bad.
His baby's name is gonna be Fonzie. All right.
Hey.
Also, the reveal is the reason why he's short is because he's also feeding nutrients to his brother.
Yeah, I think that's hilarious that that's a plot point, but it does. It's like, it's a little stupid, but it does fit.
Well, that's their big thing. It's like, oh, that's why you're still short because he is like fucking 15. I think about to be 16. Because it has been like a year.
Yeah.
Because they are going to spring now. So it's been a year. And he is short for 15 years old.
And his height is an actual sign of character growth, all right? Like, at one point, Winry just asks herself, when did he get this tall?
Oh, no. We hadn't done that yet. Her thing was noticing that his shoulders were getting broader.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's like, when did his shoulders start? Listen, the fucking the romantic interest is so telegraphed in the show.
You see it from a mile away, but some of, like, a big part of the fun is just knowing that they're gonna get together. It's just seeing how it happens.
Yeah, like I said, immediately I knew. I was like, oh, she's the romantic interest. No doubt about it.
It's telegraphed even more once they start doing bits of fan service for her at certain points. It's like, yeah, how much can you signpost that she's the love interest?
I don't know if she gets any more fan service, but in one episode, it was definitely fan service.
It's
She's
like
in the fucking
two episodes and both are pretty brief. It doesn't go very hard on it at all.
The one I watched was just recently. It was the fucking bathroom episode.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There is one later on where it's played for a joke a little bit. It's actually kind of funny, but that's about it.
And like I said, it did come out of nowhere when it happened. Because it was that.
We're joined by another person in the chat, TNT. Hail, good sir. Hope you enjoy it. We're just casually streaming Minecraft for tonight. It's a nice chill stream. Feel free to grab a drink, sit nearby, and just have some fun while we're killing monsters and building some cool bases.
Alright, I lost my house.
Whoops.
I went to the ice mountain. No, I forgot. Oh, I'm back now.
It's still night outside. Oh, hi, zombie.
Also, I did like the reveal that that the country itself was always planned to be executed, like sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a really fun reveal. I really... A lot of the revelations that end up kind of like going on as Full Metal Alchemist just keeps going. It gets more and more gripping. Like,
I will say that it's a bit like it's a little bit of a gotta put a little bit of suspension in disbelief that no one figured out that their fucking entire country is shaped like like a fucking transmutation signal.
some of it is that they're kind of always under war. Like, territory is kind of like being contested, so it's like they're not really putting it together until the very end, whenever it's very close to resembling a circle.
Well, I'm saying like just in general throughout history, like someone had to eventually been like, "Hey, why does our country look like this?"
Hey, what are these strange tunnels underground?
Wasn't that a recent thing?
I think it is. I really do.
From what I've seen, it looked like it was just a recent thing they started doing, planning.
I need a proper roof on this place. Let's go ahead and make a roof.
Oh, and the grandma character I like her as well. However, I'm kind of disappointed that how little she gets later on.
Yeah, she's very much a side character. She's not in there too much.
But I did like in the first episode that they were fucking calling each other names and fighting.
Oh yeah, that's great.
But, yeah.
Ooh, how do I want this? Jump up.
Also, they haven't addressed that he's not been drinking his milk in a while.
Hey, that's a vital plot point, alright?
Like they
Absolutely essential that Elric drinks his milk.
Yeah, that's why he's a midget, you know?
Gotta have your protein.
I do wish he used more weapons instead of that stupid ass dagger he morphs his hand into.
Oh yeah, the whole, like, arm blade or whatever that he uses.
Yeah, like he was using like actual transmuting weapons. And he stopped now.
Once upon a time, he did.
I'm like, I want the hand weapons. What the fuck is in this? Alright, I gotta make the fucking barrier thing bigger. Alright, I killed some monsters. Get away, you filthy Jehovah's Witnesses.
Damn, darn Jehovah's Witnesses.
Alright, that backfired. Oh my god, game! Let me sleep. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I've got more wood. Let's go.
How much did you watch of my Dress Up Darling?
I haven't watched any of it yet.
It is good. I do recommend it.
I know a lot of people have said really positive things about it. Fuck off, skeleton.
Alright, there you go. Do it. Do it now.
Well, right when I'm being attacked by skeletons and 3 zombies.
You stupid fuck.
Fuck
Man.
off, skeleton. It's right underneath me. See if I can wall him off.
Ooh. When are we doing the fucking Call of Cthulhu shit?
It is not tomorrow, but this next Saturday that we're actually doing it. And we're gonna see how many people actually live to get through the night, or however long it takes to.
You do realize Rick Nikita is the only one surviving, right?
Well, obviously, he's selling nothing but Baldos.
That's right. Like I said, you're gonna cut from there, like intrigue and all this other shit. Selling Baldos.
You know, if your side of the game is nothing but selling Baldos, I'm gonna make it the trippiest, like, Baldo selling adventure that there ever was. Alright?
Well, you only have to have like little 2-minute segments for me.
There's actually a bit more going on, so we'll see. We'll see. If it's just selling Baldos, that also works. Come on. God, they're all underneath my house. Look at that. 2, 3 skeletons, I think. 3 zombies. This is a little insane. Just a little.
I am curious why they don't like this is the thing where Elric and them don't kill people or any of the villains. I'm a bit curious why that was made a decision, especially since the series has murder and some gore.
I don't really know. It's not really explained much. Like, on average, I kind of hate the no-kill rule in a lot of kind of like heroic sci-fi and fantasy. Because it's like, you guys aren't Superman. It's not like you're doing this out of principle or anything. It's more just kind of like, a lot of it feels closer to something like faux virtue signaling or something like that. Where it's just, it's kind of there, but it doesn't really mean much of anything.
I don't know if it's virtue signal. It's just a weird decision since everyone else kills. No problem. Like, it makes sense if the younger brother didn't kill, but Edward?
Oh, God.
And like I said, there's murder in the show. Like, no problem. Like, from good guys doing murder.
Oh, God. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Get me out of here. Whew. Ooh, carrot.
Oh, and the muscle dude. I've seen him in other shit.
Armstrong?
Yeah, I think I've seen like references and jokes about him before.
Armstrong it's tough not to meme over the guy. He's kind of like your comical Giga Chad character, just in Full Metal Alchemist.
Alright, you know how like on the YouTube you get the random fucking like out of context anime shit?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it's a lot of Armstrong that's in there.
Yeah, there was like a random fucking not Armstrong, not from the actual show. A parody of him in a type one.
I'm not surprised about that either, alright?
Like, I just noticed, I'm like, I've seen this dude before. Because I've got recommended one of the fucking clips that do the out of context shit for that stuff.
It's not that much of a stretch for them to make Armstrong gay, you know? He's not too far off as it is.
They weren't making him gay. What the fuck?
Like,
they just had him like randomly fight a dude.
oh.
And it was very clearly supposed to be him.
You've got like layers and layers to your house.
What?
Your house. There's like the actual basic bitch like wood house here, then there's a wooden fence and then a cobblestone fence right outside of that.
Yeah, this is just a temporary house until I actually start getting shit and make a proper thing. It's called Basic Bitch House.
Basic bitch house. BBH.
And I'm doing this because technically the mobs actually spawn too close. It doesn't allow you go.
Herman just joined us in the chat. What muscle dude? So we're talking about, what's his first name? I forget his first name.
I don't remember.
Armstrong. From Full Metal
That's not his
Alchemist.
first. Is his first name Armstrong Strongworm?
No, it's, like, they're all Armstrongs. Like, it's the Armstrong family.
Which, by the way, the one asshole, when he goes through his backstory, he accidentally broke into their house and the fucking bitch used her super strength, the little daughter, to fucking fling him out. That's how he ended up in the issue, like fucking slums.
The running joke is that they're all insanely strong. Like, even the smallest out of them can, like, casually lift pianos like it's nothing.
Yes. And the main daughter, like older one, or I think she's a younger daughter, something like that. This show doesn't really draw lips on women, but for her, they gave her like blowjob lips. Best way I can describe it.
I love how you went with that specific description.
Look at them.
You know, upon
Like if I
closer
ask Sybil
inspection,
right now to describe her lips, Sybil's going to give me the exact same answer.
kind of makes me wonder. I'm positive Sybil has seen Full Metal Alchemist, at least one of the two series.
I can see a little bit more of the influence from that Fiendish got from.
My characters are actually inspired by Full Metal Alchemist to a certain extent.
Yeah, but Alspana is not he's not gay like Cuthbert, you know.
Oh, fuck off.
Quite a difference.
He's also not a suit of armor.
I do love how May, when it's like introduces her, she was looking for Edward, and she had in her mind like this tall, strong, handsome dude.
And he's just a runt.
And then she finally meets him, and it's just heartbreak. Yeah, he's not what she imagines, and then she ends up later on talking to his brother, and she ends up doing the same thing to him.
It's the funny thing. It's a nice little kind of like. There is a bit of a romance story behind it, but it's very simple. Just meant to be funny more than anything. I still really enjoy it. It's really cute.
Which hopefully nothing bad happens to her. The fucking Envy did like convince her to go back and help.
I will say nothing.
I hope fucking Envy dies. I really don't like Envy.
Oh, you'll the part with Envy right around the end. I think you'll really like it. It's one of the best parts out of the whole kind of like big climax of the series.
Yeah, it also he like transforms into like a horse thing with like souls. Like I said, it is a little bit of some berserk in there.
Yeah, that's probably the most berserk inspired part of it, is where he turns into like his dragon form or whatever it is.
Well, is that and Gluttony, when he also transforms into his thing, and when they go into his stomach realm.
Oh yeah, that's a really fun
like
part actually.
It's just a fucking like a fountain of blood pieces. Which, by the way, is a
come on, Herman, you kids in your freaking anime. Come on. It's not a phase, Dad.
Listen, don't get mad because they still produce good shit. They produce some shit.
They do produce a lot of shit, actually, but whenever they hit it out of the park, usually they'll really hit it out of the park.
Unless they don't, that really sucks.
Yeah, there's some real formulaic shit in there, too.
What?
Anime.
Well, yeah, you have, like, genres that have tropes and shit.
Look at Isekai, for example. There's a lot of formulaic trash there.
That's why I usually avoid Isekai for a lot of reasons.
There's only a few exceptions to that rule where I do really enjoy it. Most of them I really don't like.
Well, that's because Konosuba is more of a fucking joking on Isekai. Like, and it's also a really good comedy. It's why I enjoy that one. And it makes fun of the stupid ass fucking sky tropes.
I have no idea what I'm building here. It looks like a man with a rock for a head, and I kind of like it.
Mine looks like a fucked up Barbie's dollhouse. Mainly because all we had was fucking pink wood.
Oh my god, my trees are actually growing. I think by the end, my house may end up being a tree house. Very possible.
Sounds pretty gay.
I mean, we're making houses out of pink wood. What do you expect?
Listen, it's all we can afford.
It's all we can do with it. So I'm taking advantage of this, alright? I'm gonna make my Barbie dream house up on top of a hill.
Oh boy. We gotta eventually get Sybil on here.
We do. I think Sybil would have fun playing this with us. Let's get some torches down.
You just fuck with them. We do a what is that? Gotcha game. Straight.
Or even worse, we'll just do like a straight up like Weeb Genshin Impact stream just to troll everyone.
God.
We'll even be trolling ourselves because we'll really hate it.
Did you hear the controversy with that? They're upset because I guess the characters aren't black and they're too white.
Who's saying this? Is it game journos?
Game journos, the woke fans, and the voice actors. By the way, voice actors, I'm gonna let you in on something. These companies don't care. They have predatory microtransactions. They do not give a fuck.
Yeah, whatever gets them a better paycheck at the end of the day for most of them.
Like, and by the way, I love Asmongold's video on that when he was like, "Huh, I wonder why," and then he just pulls up the fucking China commercial of the black dude getting put in the washing machine. Comes out as a Chinese man.
Jesus Christ.
Have you never seen that commercial?
No, I haven't.
It's all right. The joke is you had the little Chinese wife, and she's in the laundry room, and the black dude comes in, and she's like, "Ugh," and then grabs his ass, fucking dunks him in the washer machine,
Jesus
and then they put in the detergent,
Christ,
and then
man.
and then it cycles on, and then she pulls him out, and he's a fucking like Chinese, like light skinned Chinese white guy.
Yeah, CCP. Not racist whatsoever. Not at all. Not
And
even
I'm like,
once.
I just love how Asmon's like, yeah, a lot of their money also comes from China. I wonder why.
I wonder why.
Wonder why most of the characters are not. Once again, this is from Hoyo, a gotcha game company.
Yes. Oh, and monsters are right outside my door. Isn't that wonderful?
Like, I don't know if you know how their system works in that game.
I don't, actually.
All right, you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, sure.
I've actually had someone tell me how it works.
Oh, fuck.
This is what actually makes it predatory. So it's based on drop rates, and it's like 0.08% chance for it to drop. So what happens is you're paying money on each drop, to try to gamble to get what you want, and it increases the percentage. There's also a pity system involved, meaning at a certain point you spend enough money, it'll give you what you want. It'll kick in and give it to you. Now, one person can spend $20 getting getting the same item. Your pity system can kick in around like $70. That's how they work, by the way.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. No problems with that whatsoever.
So anyways, if these English voice actors don't want to lose their jobs just because this company doesn't give a fuck and will fire them, no problem. You know what I mean?
I do. Also, this house is coming along pretty nicely.
Oh, boy.
We need more walls.
What else was there? Oh, the Deadpool controller was fucking pure gold.
Oh, we were just joined by Bill Armstrong in the chat.
I showed it to you,
Life
the
in
Xbox One.
Plastic is fantastic. I don't know what Life in Plastic is. You have any idea, Billy Bob?
Did my internet go out or something?
I think it did for a second. I didn't hear you. Are you still there, or might have cut out? Hi, random spider. Die. Billy Bob might have left. Let's take 1 second. Sorry about this, guys.
Alright, it's really quiet. I don't know if my shit's fucked up or his.
I didn't hear you for the better part of a minute. Can you hear me? Yeah, that's right, Lou. It's the Barbie Girl song. Sure, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, I think Billy Bob's internet is having a little bit of trouble at the moment. So it may be a second or two. In the meantime, I will get more torches. How's everybody in the chat doing tonight? Having a lot of fun? Possibly with a drink or two in hand? Mayhap? Either way, I hope you're enjoying the stream. Having a nice, chilling night. While I'm trying to get the rain out of my little abode. And I think there's a bit of a problem here. Billy Bob, can you hear me? I think we're having some technical issues. Probably some lacking internet tonight. May just be a second, guys. We'll go straight to intermission. We'll be right back.
I did not try to re-enter the call like it wouldn't work.
Sorry about that, guys. I think it was an issue that was happening with Discord. Everything should be working again now. Oh, and it's daytime out. Perfect timing. And that sapling's still to grow. It's taking its sweet
Who the
time.
fuck is my? Do you steal my fork, you fucking bitch?
Not me. Also, Billy,
I
your
killed a lot
audio is
of
really
piggies.
having a lot of trouble. It's really cutting in and out. It's that tinny voice. Try talking a bit more now.
Alright, it's working now?
Yeah, it sounds a lot better.
You know what I want to try?
What's that?
You're thinking pick up party chat stuff, right?
Party chat?
Yeah, on like the Xbox.
I haven't thought about it, really. I mean, I can do that. Streamlabs picks up whatever goes through your desktop. It's pretty smart that way. This tree is still standing.
See if we can get that to work.
We can. If we have another issue with the stream, we can try getting that set up. It might have been an issue with your internet. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, my phone actually wasn't connected to the internet, so or the Wi-Fi.
Might have been part of the issue. I'm not sure.
No, mine's going off of
Cell
data
service.
shit. Yeah. I mean, I can switch it to fucking Wi-Fi.
There we are. It might have just been a regular connection issue. It happens. It's a live stream. Oh, hi, skeleton. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, back to it. The Deadpool controller.
Right over here, creeper. Right over here. Come on. Come on, just a little farther. Yeah, that's right. You get right in there. No?
The Deadpool is pretty cool.
Oh my god. It's not like I'm circling a creeper around your house or anything like that. Come on, Billy, you're no fun.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
I'm gonna kill this chicken instead. He deserved to die.
Why would you kill your favorite thing?
Well, I mean, it makes good food.
We know you like eating cock, you know?
Oh, boy.
Listen, you're throwing all subtlety out the window.
Yeah, who needs subtlety, alright? It's way more fun if you just come right out with it, you know? Also die, sheep.
Oh, boy. We also got to set up our Vagabond one.
Yeah, we need to set up the Vagabond stream here sometime. How long has it been since we've done the first stream?
Well, we did it before we done Berserk.
Yeah, and that was several months ago. Probably about half a year.
Yeah, that was all the way back in January, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm ready to start doing that one again. Or at least the second Visbig.
Yeah, we really need to get to that second Visbig volume. There's some really good stuff that happens there, too. You get a really good good training sequence between... Is his name Musashi? I keep forgetting his name for whatever reason.
Yep. It's him, and he gets his ass fucking kicked by what's his name? The other prodigy. And he actually runs like he does in the first chapter with the bandit leader.
Yeah.
and has to overcome his fear of realizing he finally met someone that can really kick his ass and kill him. He's like, oh
For
shit.
someone who starts off arguably a little overpowered, it is a nice kind of like it's a nice, fun sort of conflict for him to get into.
He was killing people with a stick.
And that bone just despawned right as I got close to it.
I want to see him. I want to see the battle between him and what's his name, Dishishiro, the big brother or the little brother, the younger brother who's big.
Oh yeah, the younger brother who actually takes the fight seriously.
Yes, and I actually like him. Like I think he's pretty cool.
Whereas the older brother is just not near as muscular. He's always off at the brothels, just joking with the ladies.
Yes, albeit he is actually does have more skill.
He is more skilled, but it's that sort of anime manga trope where they really don't appear dangerous at all until they actually show their hand.
Yeah, because his whole thing is he's just that motherfucker. All right, I forgot where all my shit was.
Well, that was unfortunate.
See what happens, kids, when you go poking in a fucking cave, you know? You die.
Poking in a cave. I wonder if there's any metaphors there somewhere.
Listen, you didn't even know who I was talking about when I said white Casca. All right. It's pretty apparent.
It's not like she's blonde or anything like that, and Casca has dark hair.
Like I said, white Casca. She's literally white skin, blonde hair, same tomboy shit.
She is a tomboy, that's for sure. We got to give respect for our tomboys.
Also, why didn't she tell them that about the shadows? Like she tells them that he's the fucking whatever they're called. But she doesn't specifically say, hey, he's listening to us on the shadows, you know. So careful.
Not entirely sure. It's also been like 2 or 3 years since I've actually watched through Full Metal Alchemist.
Well, she finds out, like, she gets, like, the truth bomb where the mother was like, oh, yeah, like, him and the one dude are actually related, because the thing before was he was adopted.
Yeah.
And clicks on her and being like, oh, shit.
Oh, hey, like, another village.
Like, oh, yeah, he's not human.
Oh, and there's a cat, too. Hi, little Ocelot. You are mine now.
And I don't think the setup was that good that he's actually what do they call him? I don't actually like how the name's confusing. What they're called.
For which character?
Human. The 7 deadly sins. Forgot their actual title, what they're called.
They're homunculi.
Yeah. That name does sound stupid.
I mean, there is an actual, like, historical root behind it.
Yeah, I get that, but it also sounds stupid.
Yeah.
They're whatever the fuck. I don't think it was the greatest reveal that he's actually one of them. Because before he was just playing like, oh, Edward's my greatest hero. So automatically being like, all right, now he's like he's actually a homunculi. He's pride. Which, by the way, if he's pride, why is he acting like a kid? You know, I think that would go against pride's principles. You know.
I mean,
where the fuck was that?
Can be deceiving. Also, like the house is filled to the brim with cherry blossoms.
Well, I lost all that shit. Can't find it. I'm done looking for it.
These villagers really don't take good care of their homes.
Yeah, it's because some Ferget was ransacking them. Wonder who that could be.
They deserved it, all right. They didn't
Why?
need
Because
those books.
held in, and they're like, oh, fuck these people.
Yeah, fuck them. I'll steal their crops too while I'm at it. Just to get the point across.
You sound like the Fuhrer, you know?
But this village isn't even far away either. Oh, fuck.
It's a villain. No surprise at all. When he's like first introduced and like the second episode.
Oh, are you talking about Fuhrer Bradley?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty obvious. He's also completely not Hitler. Like, not at all.
I don't really see Hitler parallels with him.
I mean, a little bit and a little bit not at the same time. It's not the exact same.
Listen, he doesn't have a little mustache, all right?
No, and he's not, like, screeching out speeches either. But it's like, if you're breaking down his ideology, it's not terribly far off.
In his ideology is just all of the humongulous that are not human. They are not human.
It's more that he's kind of a mega Darwinist. And that also ties into like his whole upbringing too. So I mean, you could argue that like a lot of socialist type governments, both fascism and communism, they kind of rely off Darwinist tenets to a certain degree.
Yeah, but he has a wife. You know?
True.
He has a wife that he actually cares about.
He does. That's something at the very least.
She's definitely gonna die.
Maybe.
He's getting ripped in half. And greed's gonna do it.
You will give me all of your bread. Also iron boots.
And I hope Ling Ling dies.
So for, are you watching the dub or the sub?
Dub.
It's probably the best way to go.
I did not care to read this time, so I was like, and the dub is not bad, so.
The dub is really good for the most part.
I don't know if it's translating it good. I'd have to hear people say the translation's not as accurate.
Well, for the most part, it's a pretty well-respected dub.
That's the only thing I really look at is if either the dub's shit. If it's shit, I won't listen to it. I'll just do the sub. Or if the dub's not accurate, like they're actually changing a lot of shit.
Hello, villager. You're like the one villager I've actually met.
And you murdered him.
Well, I'm jumping on his face. It's a close second.
Well, that makes sense, you know. You do swing that one. Jumping on.
Alright, that's enough fun for one night. There's a crafting bench.
With all male villagers? Oh,
they're
Jesus.
All male. Taking a little bit of a risk. Mining here. See if I can wall myself up. That works.
Wasn't there something with, not Microsoft, but Windows, like a company, security company fucked up?
Oh, today? Yeah.
What was it?
I think it was like a lot of like, it's a lot of like business, internet, like even down to like airlines. it was affecting all of them to where they couldn't run. They were actually down. So it's like airlines and shit were not running.
Do you know what happened? I've only like watched like a small short on
I
what
know a
happened.
bit of it. That's about as much as I know.
I just know it was a massive fuck up. Like they updated a patch or whatever that fucked everything up.
Yeah, and it's global too. It's not just any one small area. No, this is like a worldwide fuck up.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Microsoft. So competent
Uh,
with your
oh,
jobs.
wasn't Microsoft.
Was it not Microsoft?
No, it's a completely different company.
Oh,
Like it it actually wasn't Microsoft, funny enough.
I don't know whether to be relieved or just even more sad.
I forgot the name, but it's like a different security company does the shit for this. They're the ones who fucked up. This kind of happened with I think what was it, the first Ascendant servers? No, it was Microsoft servers that fucked it up,
Oh, Microsoft.
but it wasn't that company. All right, bitch, let's get the morning. Come on.
I'm heading back to base. So far, I'm not being like gangbanged by mobs. It's just the odd creeper here.
I mean, you are a creeper. I mean, you're
Raven
wanting to get
saying CrowdStrike
going
was the software.
by all male zombies. You know, pretty that's harder.
They call it the Monster Mash, alright?
Yeah, and nasty.
Saw a joke and I took
Hey,
it.
shame, shame. Also, rest in peace, that little what was it, Ishan girl? Got her fucking brains blown out.
I'm trying to remember which.
When Envy reveals that it was her or not him, who actually they started the war with Ishans, the Civil War.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
He's like, yeah, I blew the bitches, and it shows it. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about now. How he's just bragging about how he started the whole Ishmaelin conflict.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I'll be back to my base very soon. Very, very soon.
Surprised the main character didn't get cannons on his arm or something like Guts. The black chick, she got fucking cannons on her kneecaps.
He's not that edgy. Damn it.
Come on, it's a useful tool.
Come on, zombie.
Oh,
Die, zombie. There we go. Finally in bed. It's been a long night, but hey.
Oh, and I think it was episode 15 or something. There was fan service with Lust, where they randomly decided to have her jiggle physics.
Yeah, it's like whenever, I think it's like whenever it's revealing that she's really not a good person, everybody realizes it. Then all of a sudden they're like, why did you date her? And it's like, what is his name? Havoc? Damn it, Havoc, why are you always dating
Okay.
chicks with big boobs? And then it just has random jiggle physics.
His whole thing is she shows up and he's like, says her name. And like, oh, well, no wonder you didn't notice that because she jiggles her tits. He's like, no wonder you didn't notice that she was a fucking homunculi. She has ginormous tits.
His rebuttal is also the best. I can't help it. I love them. I mean, fair enough, Havoc. It's a good counter argument.
Hopefully he gets his he's no longer Warhammer anymore. War Machine.
Yeah, you feel bad for Havoc. He kind of gets messed up in a major way.
I guess paralyzed.
Yeah.
And then Mustang's trying to find a way to cure him. Which I'm expecting it might happen.
We'll just have to see now, won't we?
You faggot.
It's not like I know the answer or anything like that. No.
Listen, I'm ready for the Fuhrer fight coming up. It'll happen soon. I'm going to see how they beat him. He is pretty overpowered.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Like he's able to perfectly match his movements with the sword. He has a, what is it called? Ultimate Eye?
I forget exactly what it is, but it's something along those lines. Yeah, either way, no. He's, even by homunculi standards, he is pretty fucking dangerous.
I do like the one joke with the Ling Ling dude. Is the one joke I actually like, where he starts speaking like very stereotypical broken English.
Oh yeah, just so he can get an edge.
He goes, Mimi, no, I don't know any English.
I'm sorry, I don't know. I am very bad English, or something like that.
I'm like, alrighty. By the way, how fucking rich is the main character?
Like Edward?
Yeah.
It never really says. All you know is he's got enough to make a pretty fucking good living.
Oh, and I want to see the library chick again. It's been a while since we've seen her.
Oh yeah, the library chick. I actually feel really bad for her.
Why? Nothing bad's happened to her.
No, nothing's bad happens to her, but it's like, everybody's like, oh yeah, you wanna work? Yeah, let's put you on like consistent overtime. That'll do it. That'll show her.
Is that what happens to her?
At one point it is.
I thought the whole thing was she couldn't keep her job because in the library because she kept wanting to read all the books.
Yeah, she's like really bad at organizing, so she just wants to keep on. All she wants to do is just read the books on the shelves, and she ends up getting distracted, accidentally, nearly buries herself in books. I mean,
oh yeah,
in fairness,
house.
I can kind of relate to that.
I think that was in her house.
Oh, was that in her house?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they go there because there's supposed to be the big book collection. It's just a nightmare, like fucking filled to the brim. It looks like what Hermaeus Mora's, like a normal version of Hermaeus Mora's realm.
This week on Hoarders.
I don't know if you've ever know Elder Scrolls on Hermaeus Mora.
I'm trying to remember Hermaeus Mora. Is Hermaeus Mora kind of like the more eldritch Daedric prince?
He's straight up the H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah,
Daedric
that's what I thought.
Of knowledge and shit, and his realm is like made up entirely of like books and like weird slime shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you were to compare him to like a Lovecraftian deity, probably like Yog-Sothoth or Nyarlathotep or something like that. One of the more kind of like magic-oriented ones, I guess.
He's Bethesda's Daedric Lovecraft.
I mean, fair enough. Like
in the
Swords and Sorcery and H.P. Lovecraft, like the two ideas just go together so perfectly. So I understand like why they would do that.
Well, there's like H.P. Lovecraft in like every every Bethesda game.
I mean,
like
it goes all the way back to like Conan stories.
Well, also like in the Fallout 3 and I think New Vegas and 4, like all of them have like a quest with H.P. Lovecraft, like the Quarry quest.
There is also there's like, what is it, the Dunwich building in Fallout 3, where the Dunwich building itself, that's a reference to the Dunwich Horror, but they're also having like a ghoul directly referencing Abdul al-Hazred, which he's kind of mentioned in a lot of H.P. Lovecraft short stories, so it's like you couldn't get much more obvious.
I think in Fallout 4 it was the Dunwich Quarry, where like you're having to fight like feral ghoul ghost.
I don't know how close that is to. It's not really all that close to the Dunwich Horror, from what I remember. Maybe it's just name recognition.
It was just name, if I remember correctly, but it's still supposed to be like a H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
Reference.
Like, I do. It's been a while since I've read the Dunwich Horror. I do like the story. It's not my favorite Lovecraft story by any stretch, though. And there goes my axe.
Wheel of Time. I'll be reading that one someday.
I really want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to see whether you love it, hate it, or you're in between on it.
I gotta figure out when I want to commit to reading it.
The book is a commitment. Like, even by epic fantasy standards, like, I can't read through Wheel of Time like some other epic fantasy out there. It's still a pretty good read overall, but then again, I've only read like 1 or 2 books into it. I'm not far in at all.
Well, it's also like 700-800 pages, about the length of Game of Thrones. I'm like, all right, that's a commitment.
Yeah, and there's also like 14 books or something of that size.
But listen, I never said the whole series. Listen, if Dollar Tree has the whole fucking series, sure.
The biggest turnoff from the series for me is whenever I've had fans of Wheel of Time come up to me and say, it gets book about 3 or 4... It gets really good around 3 or 4 books in. And I'm like, I don't want to endure like 3 or 4 books of okayness until I get to the really good bits.
What kind of hype is that? Hey man, I know you love you're reading this book. You got to read 4 of them before it's actually good. You know, there's no good parts in the first, second, third.
Here's the thing. I think a lot of Wheel of Time's biggest fans are also some of its first detractors. That's what seems to be the running theme to me. They'll be the first ones to point out the series flaws, and there are plenty of them.
Right, but you gotta at least be like, no, there's good parts. You know, there's pacing problems in the whatever books. But to be like, no, it's actually a shitty story until book 3.
It's not at the very least from book 1. I wouldn't call it a shitty story by any stretch. It's just, I think it has some parts I really like, and then some parts that really get on my nerves, like a lot. Like it's one of those where you can, I wouldn't necessarily call it a feminist angle, but it definitely feels like a bit of a S&M undertone to it. And everybody I've talked to about Wheel of Time has said something similar.
Well, what you've told me, and his wife was the editor on the book as well.
She was one of the editors, I think.
Yeah, so I feel like he was writing the shit to her.
I'm sure. I'm willing to bet, at least in some extent, he was. Maybe not fully, but to a certain degree.
I think he was definitely putting it in there, being like, "All right, bitch." Just to make sure you know what I'm into, you know.
It feels like the writing of the series can feel a little. It can feel like it's written by a masochist sometimes. I mean, like, you do you, but it's something I kind of notice regardless.
Well, all the girls treat the main character like they're his mother.
Yeah, it's not like third wave feminism or anything like that. It just feels like an overbearing mother, and it's consistent too,
It's consistent with all the female characters.
with a few exceptions. Nynaeve is like one of the not Nynaeve, fuck Nynaeve. Well, until the later books, from what I hear.
You know what? Under
Uh,
like fuck.
Moiraine is like probably one of the. She's probably my favorite of the bunch, just because she's kind of no nonsense, but the rest of them can be a little melodramatic, or the
Yeah,
majority.
that fuck Naeen sounded like fuck Nina.
Raven in the chat saying, brother-in-law got me the first 3 books of some series. I couldn't remember what series. It's the Wheel of Time. Okay. I'm willing to bet it probably was like the first 3 books or something like that of Wheel of Time. That's my best guess. Yeah, it's one of those series where opinions are very divided on it. I know, like, I have friends who will kind of say the first few books are meh and then it gets really good. I've heard people say the opposite, where they love the first book and then by book 4 it just completely drops off for them. So it's like it's really tough to kind of get a good idea of what's really a running theme with the good and the bad for Wheel of Time.
Right, I think Sybil likes it, but Sybil also points out, I think, problems with it. I've heard y'all talk.
Yeah, Sybil will also be like one of the first people to point out its flaws. Wrong way. There we are.
I'll mention it.
I
also still got to read Lord of the Rings, which
I'll say this about Wheel of Time: I do recommend reading the first book at the very least. It is worth that much. It is worth reading the first book.
I think one thing I think you started telling me character names, and it does have that those shittily overly complicated names.
It kind of has that problem where it's like novice D&D world type naming sort of like structure to it, where it's like these very long kind of like drawling names that don't really have a clear real world connection, so it feels a little random.
Yeah. Like, what was the name? There was one that it went on for like. It didn't stop.
It was like
There's an entire sentence.
Theris Luz Telamon, I think that was his name.
Say that again?
It was like Theris Luz Telamon or something.
Yeah, why is the Luz in there?
I mean, obviously it's his middle name, but it had to mention it quite a lot there in the beginning. I really don't know.
What are the other characters' names?
So the main character's name is Randall Thor. And I'm out of wood. Oh joy.
You say Rand Elf Thor?
Randall Thor.
Okay.
It's kind of something I noticed. Wheel of Time sort of it kind of does something that I did early on whenever I first started world building through like D&D and stuff, was like I loved putting apostrophes in names to make them sound a bit more exotic. That's a lot of what Wheel of Time does, at least with certain regions or characters.
Why don't you just do this? You just spell it different. Usually what a lot of fantasy names are.
That is true. And
we're gonna spell John Jon.
I'll make fun of some Star Wars names as well. Like, I don't want to say it's just Wheel of Time that I'm dissing on here. Wheel of Time is one where it's a bit more obvious.
Star Wars names are supposed to be on the fucking nose.
Right. I'm not saying all Star Wars names, but it's like some of them out there. I'm like,
Darth Sidious. Count Dooku's with Darth Tyrannus.
Yeah. Raven just says, just name him Bobcat Bob. Hey, I'll vouch for Bobcat Bob.
Oh, what was it? Fucking Darth Plagueis. It's like, guys, I think you got a thing going on here. Yeah.
Darth Plagueis the Wise. I wonder if there's any correlation there between that and maybe plagues or something?
Then you're going to get Darth Adis. What was it? Oh, yeah, Savage Opress. It was from the Clone Wars. He's like Darth Ball's brother.
What was his name again?
Savage Opress.
Savage Opress.
Yes, literally Savage Opress.
It's not on the nose at all.
But then again, the fucking main character is called Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, true. Star Wars never exactly
Obi-Wan
been known for
Kenobi.
super subtle names.
Princess Leia. Han Solo. I mean, you literally had what was it? Chewbacca. That's why I give Star Wars a pass. It's good fucking names. Like it's always had it.
Well, it's like you can kind of suspend your disbelief a bit. This is where I sort of draw the line a little bit. It's you can suspend your disbelief just so long as it's kind of having a little bit of fun with it, you know? It's just
Which name upsets you?
Huh?
Which name upsets you?
Which name upsets me?
I mean, literally, Han shoots Greedo.
Yeah.
The fucking bounty hunter's trying to turn Greedo.
To a certain degree, it is meant to be on the nose. That's part of the fun.
So which name?
So which name?
Yeah, which name makes you go, fuck this?
Out of Star Wars, or are we still...
Yeah, Star Wars.
Savage Opress is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Savage? What the fuck?
What's the fucking name again?
Savage Opress.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty bad name.
Yeah, but I just told you that one. That's not fair. So you had problems before.
Oh, you're talking about all of Star Wars, not just the ones you talked about.
Right.
Oh boy. I don't know. Greedo's pretty bad. Lando Calrissian.
But how is Lando Calrissian worse than Luke Skywalker?
It's not. It's just one that... It's more phonetics where it just sounds a little bit goofy to me. Strangely enough, I think the worst Star Wars names I've come across were in Star Wars Connect, of all things. There were some terrible names in that.
You know, I have Star Wars poker cards that has like a bunch of the names.
Oh, I'm sure they're terrible.
They are.
That's the thing. The worst offenders for Star Wars are like all the little side characters. Like, that's where the worst names are.
Yes, but all of them got toys as well.
Yes.
All. Like I said, the fat bitch from the fat bitch singer at Jabba's palace. She has a toy made of her.
I'm gonna cringe at that. I am really gonna cringe at that.
It's funny.
It is funny, but I'm still gonna cringe. All right.
It's like George went, no, everyone's getting a toy.
You get a toy.
Right.
You get a toy.
Has a toy and probably a backstory.
You get a toy and a backstory. That is a
awesome.
Big tree. Let's put a tree down here.
Well, you literally had Newt Gunray.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that fucking name.
Oh, man.
Oh, let's Make
He
a
got.
tree
I
here.
always loved the what was it? The robot chicken Star Wars ship.
Oh yeah, Robot Chicken Star Wars is the fucking best.
I just love when it does the joke of Anakin thinking he's like, go to a happy place when he's fixing to slaughter the younglings. And he pictures them as the Naboo fields when he was with Padme, as the big like sunflowers, cutting them up. And he's like, oh, good thing. And then Padme goes into the room, into the dining room, and he's like, I left some flowers for you at the table.
You know what? I'll give this even to modern Star Wars. Like modern Star Wars is bad, but then again, Star Wars has had memes for how bad or how stupid certain things are for years. Like that is one of the good things about Star Wars. The fans have learned how to meme about it.
But have like the sequel memes really been good? Like, ah ha ha, that's funny, or has
There's
it
been a
been
few good ones. Like I
which
have
one?
no interest in watching The Acolyte, but there's been a few good memes that's come out of it.
I watched a video of a dude trying to be like, people telling you this is shit, but he plays like the scene, and I'm like, yeah, this looks good if it was a fucking fan film,
Well,
not like $100 million show.
it's kind of how I describe Disney Star Wars in general. It just feels like bad fan fiction. Because I like none of it feels like authentic Star Wars to me. Like even when I didn't like Star Wars under George Lucas, it still felt like Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, Disney Star Wars, it just feels like pandering, a lot of pandering. Uh, whatever is original is usually really shallow, really bad, with a few minor
Or
exceptions.
like Finn being a fucking Jedi, just completely gone away.
I think
And
everybody
why
was
they didn't
hoping
want
that more was going to be done with Finn, and then you realize that no, nothing is there at all. They had no idea what they were doing.
well, his concept was cool. He's like, oh, a stormtrooper. Like all right, you can do a lot with that. Oh, turns out he's a janitor.
Well, it's a cool character idea in general, where it's like you have this world where it is clearly defined good guys and bad guys, and you've had several movies that really explored that. So you can have a really fun angle where you're having somebody starting off as essentially the bad guy and slowly just like looking at more of what they're doing, they're becoming like this paragon. They're actually turning over to the good side, and that could be a really fun character arc. It's just they didn't do that.
And instead, he was a janitor,
Yeah, he was a janitor.
and he'd never seen any combat except that one day.
He also had to prop up Mary Sue Ray.
Yes.
And
You know
Rose.
why I think they dropped the Jedi plot line for him?
Why is that?
Because he'd have to call someone master.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, I don't even think Rey calls Luke master in The Last Jedi. Does she?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, in fact. My God, there are cherry blossom trees all over the place.
The greatest meme for the sequels was that one comic because it was stupid.
Down the hill we go. Ow.
You know what? I need to just remind Anton about the Scott Pilgrim shit that came out this year.
So I don't know much about that. What was the Scott Pilgrim shit that came out this year?
It was animated like not sequel but sequel. That was woke as shit.
Oh.
And it wasn't really about Scott Pilgrim. It was about Ramona.
Classic bait and switch, I see.
And then like the future Scott Pilgrim is the evil white man.
I think I just
You should
cringed
talk
out
to
of my
Anton.
skin there for a second.
Anton will break it down because he watched it.
Oh, did he? I'm
Yeah.
guessing he watched all of it too.
Yes.
My heart
Yeah,
goes
because I had
out
him
to the
go.
guy.
I told him he should watch it, and he can tell us because he's a big fan of Scott Pilgrim. So.
Raven, I do agree. Ray is too forgettable. She needed she needed like a good character or flaw or something like that, or something just to make it to where there was more of a conflict with her. Like it just felt like everything came way too easy to her. Like she didn't really have to work for it, and I
Yeah,
think that's
because
the real
she was.
kicker. She like one of the best ways you can get someone to connect with your main character is have them struggle to achieve a goal, like something that's near and dear to them. If they're not
Well, all
struggling,
she had to do.
it's just not near as fun.
Well, she just saw how to use mind trick abilities, which by the way took Luke, until Return of the Jedi to actually use it.
Yeah, and it's not
That's why
like it's a
Return of the Jedi
complicated
open.
force trick or anything like that.
Like that's what makes Return of the Jedi open so good with fucking Luke, because he's using all these fucking advanced, Jedi techniques. Because remember, he kind of couldn't do shit in New Hope, and in fucking Empire Strikes Back, he gets his ass handed to him by Vader.
I mean, there
So much so that Vader is fighting him one-handed.
that's
How
still
much
one of the
Vader doesn't give.
reasons why a lot of people will say that Empire is like one of you why a lot of people will say it's the best one. I it's my personal favorite as well. I know there's still a bit of debate around it, but it's just the fact that Luke can and does get his ass absolutely handed to him in that movie. Like I'm not even sure if you could say he wins at all.
No,
He
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 does,
survives just barely.
dude. Okay, so like I said, watch the movie. Vader is fighting him one-handed, and Vader's just half-ass throwing shit at him in this fight,
If
dude.
you look at their actual fight, Vader isn't moving that much. He's just kind of toying with Luke up until
And
the later half of the fight.
up until the end of the fight, because Luke actually hits him in the shoulder, and that's when Vader
Oh
grabs his
god, I'm
lightsaber
getting
by two hands.
hypothermia.
It's when Vader grabs his lightsaber two-handed this time, and then fucking just cuts his hand off. Vader's like, "All right, enough, little boy." That's also what makes Return of the Jedi have a great fight when Luke is actually able to stand toe to toe with Vader.
Yeah.
That's why you don't defeat your villain. Also, the first movie.
Right. Well, it's like it kind of confused a lot of people whenever that happened in The Force Awakens. You're like, okay, so he gets defeated. Is something going to happen with Kylo that makes him stronger? Is Snoke going to have something up his sleeve that makes it tougher for them? Oh no, Snoke's dead. Oh, okay.
Oh no, Snoke. We start Last Jedi with Snoke. By the way, using Vader to manipulate him, immediately calling him a fucking fag for wearing a mask like Vader. And then somehow didn't see that Kylo was going to turn on him when he keeps calling him a little bitch. But no, he just randomly turns,
Yeah, just randomly.
Didn't see that coming. Also, I remember all the Snoke theories. Who they thought maybe he was like Darth Plagueis or some shit.
Yeah.
No, he was just a random fucked up clone of Palpatine.
It's the mystery box writing in a nutshell. Shows you how far it gets you.
Oh, Palpatine, you retard.
In fairness,
Yeah,
I don't hate the mystery box completely. I think it's good for setting ideas, but I also think you need to have an answer to those ideas.
yeah, but that's completely against the mystery box.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like, oh no, I like it, but I hate that you don't actually have an answer for it. And it's like, no, that's the whole philosophy. You don't have an answer for it. You just have a mystery.
I sort of get it because it's like the problem is I don't think it should be the main mystery where it's like that. I think that's the problem. Because it's like a good example of a mystery that's better left unexplained is like take a look at Highlander, or like the reason why they're immortal. At the very least, in the first movie, they're just like, "Fuck it, who knows? Who cares?" Like Sean Connery's out downright telling you, "Don't worry about it. That's not the point." Uh, then movie two comes in and fucks all of that up. So it's
Well,
like,
you remember Mass Effect?
what with Mass Effect about the Reapers?
Yeah, the Reapers.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not like they're really good mysteries and they do hook you in, but it's not the main reason you're following. You know, it's just there as a fun aside where it's like there's mystery in this story that cannot be explained, and that's fun. That's fine. The problem with Mystery Box is it's all about trying to figure out what's inside the box, but you cannot show what's in the box.
Because you got to become the box.
You got to become the box because you, the audience, are the box.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend using that just because it usually doesn't end well.
I do think it sort of feeds into a decent writing philosophy. I think whenever you're outlining stuff, asking yourself like as many questions as you can about what's important to the story is a good thing. Like it does feed into that sort of classic idea that you should be asking questions. It's just I think the mystery box idea just twists it to where it's
Okay, but you
it's
also
doing
need
all of the
to.
wrong things.
But if you don't know the answer, how are you going to put foreshadowing?
Right. It's like you
Red
have to
herrings.
know the answer, and that's the fatal flaw.
Or at least know some of the answer.
Right, right. Like that was what killed Lost in the end was that they didn't have an answer, so they just kept trying to one up themselves with what the answer could be. And it just got more and more insane by the end.
How much foreshadowing in that show just got thrown out because they didn't have an answer?
Dude,
The
there's
stuff that
quite a lot of
hints.
retcons just because they wanted to keep the mystery box alive.
Wasn't the whole reveal at the end that they're in limbo
Yeah, it's
or
stupid.
purgatory?
It's stupid. There's also time travel in like season 5, just kind of out of the blue. It gets really ridiculous after a certain point.
Hey guys, I read Dark Tower. Let's do time travel.
It's like whenever Lost was good, it was really good. It's like you could tell there was good writing behind it. It's just they had no idea where to go with it. I'm like, that's fine for a while, but you eventually got to give yourself an idea of where it's going to end. Hopefully.
Oh, you know what I did see? Also this week,
What's that?
the fucking King Kong and Godzilla movie.
Oh, how was that?
Boy, did that movie suck dick through a straw. It's the first one where I'm like, yeah, this movie sucks. I love Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and I love Godzilla vs. Kong.
I was mixed on Godzilla 2014. Godzilla King of the Monster is probably my favorite out of all of them that I've seen. Like I really enjoy that one.
Godzilla 2014 sucks in terms of the human character and their story being boring.
Oh great, it's
what
pillagers.
It does succeed in. What it does succeed in, and that none of the movies have actually been able to match it, is sense of scale. Because every scene in Godzilla 2014 is shot from a perspective that you could be at. So in a building, in a helicopter, all that. And it really shows you the scale of the monsters.
Right, and that was also one of the things I really liked about King of the Monsters. It's like you're seeing this stuff that is quite literally tearing the world apart, and you're getting it from the ground level. People are being wiped out in just like minutes.
King of the Monsters has some of that, but it doesn't have it. Like the dude they had for 2014, you can clearly tell he's missing because they don't have it exactly how it was in 2014. 2014's problem, also like the human story, and also cutting away constantly when you're fixing to have a fight.
Yeah, that was 2014's big problem. It relied way too much on the human characters, and that was my big problem with those movies. The human characters do not have much going on. They're very dull.
I like the villain in King of the Monsters, fucking Charles Dance's character,
Yeah,
because he was supposed to be a Royal Marine. He just said fuck humanity. Like I've seen the
I also
worst of the
like some of
worst.
the ideas that are being thrown around in those movies. The idea that Godzilla is kind of acting sort of like a protector of the Earth. There's a bit of spiritualism going on behind all of these like kaiju battles and wacky sci-fi. That makes it fun.
Yeah, except in Godzilla, this was in Godzilla versus Kong, and this latest one. They make Godzilla more of a villain because he's kind of just doesn't care about I don't know, walking through someone's fucking house.
Yeah, well, there goes the whole idea of Godzilla being a protector.
No, they keep pushing that he's protected. I'm like
After a
in this
certain point, he's just killing people, you know?
But at a certain point, he's just walking through people's house. I'm like, Godzilla, like, why don't you show him not walking through this place? Like, if he's supposed to be a good guy.
Make him at least a little more careful, maybe. That might help. Just a little bit.
There's when we get the morning.
Going back to base.
But no, in the movie is an hour. It's an hour until you meet the main villain, the main kaiju, which is like an orangutan King Kong.
Yeah.
And that fucking villain sucks. So I understand they wanted to make him slim and like really athletic or like very agile. But he's like 2 to 3 times smaller than King Kong. And he looks like a fucking baby. So it's such a bad character design.
Yeah.
Like you gotta I understand you don't want him to be as big as King Kong. You wanted him to be like thin and agile, but you can't make him that smaller.
Right.
He looks ridiculous.
Fuck. I'm in a bad spot.
And I remember the original teaser trailer. He had like blue glowing eyes and shit, and there's like theories like, oh, maybe he like uses like Godzilla's atomic breath, or he'd do like fucking laser eyes or some shit. That'd be cool. Nope, none of that. He has a spine tail with a little crystal thing that controls a big giant ice kaiju.
Yes.
He can command to do what he wants, and he rides it. And the final fight sucked. Like the way they beat the main villain is King Kong grabs him and he gets shot by the ice dragon. The ice dragon, they're all attacking him. And the ice dragon is tired of the main villain for controlling him. So he gets frozen. And you see Godzilla like parrying his atomic breath. And you would think, oh, King Kong's going to throw his ass up in the air and Godzilla's going to shoot him with the goddamn atomic breath and he's going to explode, right? It's not what happens. King Kong just picks him up and just slams him on the ground.
Also, Wrangler is saying he looked like I hope I'm saying this right, Gigantopithecus. There we go.
A what?
I have no clue.
I'm assuming that's a joke. I'm just not getting. Wrangler, did you see the Godzilla and Kong movie? It's literally the first one I've watched that I'm genuinely like, this movie blows. Like there's not even like even in Godzilla versus Kong, at least we got like Mecha Godzilla, which was cool. And this one, I mean, we got Mothra again. There's at least that. albeit she doesn't really do much. Kind of just shows up at the fight between Godzilla and Kong at the fucking Egyptian pyramid and stops it. I did like that King Kong used the baby orangutan as a fucking weapon in the movie.
All right, that does sound pretty amazing.
Like, because King Kong finds like the other Kongs, and they start like they're trying to murder him.
Yeah.
And like the little baby orangutan is also trying to murder him. And he fucking picks up the little baby and uses it to hit the other ones.
I love it. I love it already.
I'm like, that scene I liked. Oh, yeah, the big reveal is in the Hollow Earth, there's the ancient humans, like tribe, like the King Kong tribe. They're like the actual ancestors of them. And they have like stupid gravity magic or whatever they can manipulate.
Well, clearly.
And then they tried shoving in a By the way, they tried shoving a message to like the black dude from Godzilla versus Kong because he was filming everything. They're like, well, you know what happens when indigenous people, isolated tribes, get me. This footage will get out and it'll ruin their way of life. I'm like, how? No one can get into Hollow Earth. You have to have a fucking flying, levitating spaceship to get in. Good luck.
Oh boy, how cringe can this get?
The fucking blind girl. She's the main girl of this movie. And it doesn't explain it, but somehow she gets messages of the SOS signal that the ancient people were sending out and hoping someone finds it. And it was the signal, so she like wanting to go there. And they need her for a prophecy.
The more I hear about this, the dumber it gets.
Yeah. And it's not dumb like Godzilla versus Kong was dumb. It's just dumb. Like Godzilla versus Kong, I like the idea that this rich dude, he just wanted to build a mecha Godzilla.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, I'd want to
Like,
do
yeah.
that.
And then he gets a funny death. Yeah, I don't care if they make any more. Whoever them writers, they need to go.
I was kind of content after Godzilla versus Kong, honestly. Like I didn't really want much of any more after that. You know, I could have I could have fared with just King of the Monsters. I really like King of the Monsters. Kong versus Godzilla was also pretty fun. So I was like, yeah, it belongs here. But
well, I mean, I would have liked do like Mecha Ghidorah. I just want fucking fan service. That's all I want.
That's fair.
Just give me like I don't care if the plot's stupid, as long as it's fun.
Yeah, fair point.
Like, I don't even give a shit if you introduce aliens like the fucking original Toho shit. As long as I see fun fights. And we don't spend half the fucking movie. We don't spend half of the movie about ancient humans and their culture shit.
Yeah, that's tiresome, to say the least. Oh, and we've got this nice tree up here. I can hear cows from your TV, by the way.
Yeah. Who was the composer for fucking Full Metal Brotherhood?
I don't fully know. Does anybody in the chat know who did the composition for Brotherhood? I don't know off the top of my head.
Some of that song, by the way, could work in Batman movies.
Yeah, easily. It's just a really solid soundtrack in general.
I want to look up the composer. I'm assuming it's a Japanese composer as well.
Most likely. I would imagine so.
Which means it could be male or female.
Shut up, Herman. I know it's just us kids in anime, but it's It's the real deal, Pops.
All right, let's piss off Herman. We're going to talk about Konosubas.
All right.
Anyways, Darkness Tits.
So Aqua's ass.
Oh, man. You didn't make it that far into it yet. Well, you haven't even really started the Frieza saga.
No, I haven't. I'm very early on in it. Very much a Dragon Ball noob in that respect.
I do know after you get at the end of the Cell saga, you do need to watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Oh yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to start watching was to just watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Matter of fact, I need to send Frederick some of the clips from that to get him to do it to have on the streams.
Yeah.
One of the funniest fucking jokes is Vegeta goes, "I'm gonna show my monkey," and then the crowd goes, "Oh, form," and the dude in the background just goes, "Thank God, I thought he meant penis." It gets me every fucking time with that joke.
Oh boy. No, I've seen bits and pieces of Dragon Ball Abridged, and every time it's just maybe I'm just seeing the good parts. Who knows? But it's usually been a really good time.
It's all good parts.
Let's see if I can get this walkway up.
And then I also recommend watching some videos on the Big Green Dub. I don't know if you've ever seen the Big Green Dub.
No, I haven't, actually.
Yeah, you definitely need to look it up. It's horrible. And a lot of the references in Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Oh shit. Stop.
And there he goes.
And inner city violence right there, folks. I was killed by a black man. I forgot where all my shit is.
I want those blocks back. Give me back my blocks. Let's see if I can do this. Oh yeah, simple enough.
I don't remember where. Kind of pisses me off.
This landing here in my house is kind of a mess, but I don't know, it has its charm. I love it all the same. This ugly, ugly house. Oh, fuck off, creeper. Alright, follow me this way. Come on, come on. That's right. That's right. Down this way. Down this way.
Well, shit. I don't even know where my character died.
Right down this way. And where did he go?
The other joke is, you know when Goku and Piccolo take off their weighted training gear?
Yeah.
And it increases their power?
Yeah.
In Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Reddit's like, oh, I see. So if you take off your clothes, you grow more powerful.
Suddenly we're going into kill logic here.
Yeah. And the joke is him just pulling down his pants. And like, no, it's not how it works. Or the other one is when they hear Yamcha Yamcha's name, Vegeta and Nappa are like, I don't know about this Yamcha, but it sounds like a rabbit. Because he's fucking weak. Yeah, how did you like that? It's a little stupid, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even for Dragon Ball, that Vegeta and Nappa are walking around with being able to grow fucking radishes, like power level characters.
Yeah, it's a little dumb.
Like, why do we have Reddits?
In fairness, I think Dragon Ball a lot of the time, at least from what I've seen of it, a lot of it kind of operates just on hyperbole. It's like, oh, you've met this real big threat. Oh yeah, these guys were just the minions. Yeah, have fun with the real master. Even then, he's a lieutenant. Oh yeah, here's the real mastermind. But what god does he serve? Oh, this guy. Yeah, he's really gonna fuck you up.
Well, to be fair, when it came to Vegeta and Nappa, we were told they were stronger even by Reddits.
That is true. No, that was set up very well.
Cyberman. The only dumb part was the Cyberman. All right, I think it's about time to wrap it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And there we go. So everybody in the chat, I think we're going to go ahead and end it for tonight. Thank you all a lot for joining us for tonight's game and just chilling out with us. So until next time, I'm the Lord Otter, and I'm joined by Billy Bobsack. So squeak, squeak, and I bid you all a good night, and God bless, friends.
Don't worry, we're going to really piss off Herman with Monster Hunter next week.